Welcome to Dysfunctionally Yours, the podcast where we embrace the chaos, laugh through the struggles, and find hope on the other side of trauma. I'm your host, Brittany, and if you've ever felt like your life was a beautifully messy roller coaster of dysfunction, trust me, you're in good company. Here, we'll have real, raw, and sometimes ridiculous conversations about mental health, relationships, and healing, because let's be honest, life isn't always pretty, but that doesn't mean we can't come out of it stronger and maybe even smiling. So grab a cup of coffee or a glass of bubbles, and let's navigate this wild journey together, dysfunctionally, but never alone.
Welcome back, friends. I was taking the picture for the Instagram page, in case you wanted to know what I was doing. Okay, welcome back to Dysfunctionally Yours. I'm Brittany. Still, I am still Brittany. How was everybody's holiday? And if you're sitting there being like, don't ask, same. And if you're sitting there being like, oh my God, it was such a blessed day. We had so much fun. Love that journey for you, right? Like, I can be happy for you in your experiences, even if I don't love mine. I say that, and my holiday wasn't, well, it was brutal. It was it was brutal. Christmas Eve, brutal. Christmas up until probably 5:30 p.m., brutal. But I did end up going over to my cousin's house. Everybody was there. It was lovely. It was lovely. Everybody ate, put aside their differences for the moment, and actually had a good night, which I wasn't going to go. I was still in bed Christmas Day at like 4:15 p.m., not feeling it. Really, like, I can't muster the okayness. I don't want to bring everybody down, blah, 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 right? Tiny violin. Um, and then, my cousin was like, I don't care. Come in your pajamas. Just come eat good food, fill your belly up. It'll make you feel better. And so yeah, I did. I went, and it was lovely. So that was, that was Christmas. I think it was it does not go on my list of favorite holiday experiences, but it certainly doesn't go on my worst. And would I do it again? Yes. I'm grateful to the cousin for dragging my ass out of bed. Sometimes it really does just take that text message, right? It's not like she did anything. It's not like she drove to my house. It's not like she blew up my phone. It's not like she did any of that. But I had talked to her the night prior and was pretty upset and was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it. I don't think I can do it. And was really, really, really not in an awesome place. And then the next day she was just like, how's it going? And I was like, eh. And then a little bit later, that's when she was like, just come in your pajamas. Who cares? Like, it's chill. Just come. So sometimes it really does just take that one little push to get somebody to show up. So don't ever underestimate the power of a text. I will say they go a long way. They go a long way, even if you don't always see the benefits. And to be totally honest, even if I wouldn't have gone, I think that text still would have been very helpful to me with where I was. Just, it would have just been helpful anyway. So never underestimate the power of a text message. Sometimes they matter. All right. that was my Christmas. I hope you have a cooler story. I hope you have a cool story. I will also say I am a little bit of a Hallmark Christmas junkie. Like, I love the cheesy Hallmark movies. As soon as they come out, I'm like, oh, it's December, Hallmark Christmas movies. I'm going to watch all of them. All of them. Every cute little small town country farmhouse, like, meet the cute local, like, fall in love, la la la, Merry Christmas. I watch all of them. And I was like, is this what the problem is? Is this why I am delusional about what Christmas is supposed to be? Because I'm not a huge rom-com girl. And even if I do, I'm just like, oh, that's cute. But there's not really any like, oh, that's the way life is, because it's not. But I do have to wonder, does the Hallmark Christmas, I know for the past like month in the episodes, I've referred to it as Hallmark Christmas. And like, now I'm wondering, like, duh, now that I hear the words coming out of my mouth, I have to wonder, is it because I watch all of these silly little movies that are just not reality? They're not realistic. But have I turned it into something? Possibly. Possibly. So now that I'm putting that into the universe, that like not even Christmas is a movie, maybe 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 that'll make all the difference next year. For real though, I think I'm going on a cruise next year. I know somebody that I used to work with in Virginia, and him and his wife went on a cruise over Christmas, and I just like looked at all of his pictures, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm living my life the wrong way. I'm like hair everywhere. I'm living my life the wrong way, because while they're out there swimming in turquoise sea, living their best lives, I'm over here like womp womp, a sad, depressed burrito. So next year, maybe a cruise is it, and maybe I need to like pay for it now so that I can just like, instead of getting sad when Christmas gets closer, I can be like, yes, it's Christmas. It's finally time for my Caribbean getaway. Maybe. Ask me later. We'll see what happens. All right. What is my ache and relief of the week? That was the longest intro ever. I'm just over here rambling to ramble. All right, my ache and relief of the week is that the obvious, the holidays are brutal, and a lot comes up with that, and I'll get more into that. And then my relief of the week is that they're gone. Is that they're done. They're done. And it felt like that next day, that day after Christmas, I woke up and I was like, I need to recuperate from being social and lick my wounds where wounds need to be licked and do some self-reflecting and blah, blah, blah. But then like the weekend came and I was like, I'm good. You know, like Snow White when she opens or Cinderella when she opens the curtains and she's like, and she sees all the birds, like a whole new day, a whole new day. And we love that journey for me. All right. There is that. Also, I did not prep an episode. I am very confused on what day of my life it is. I have been off of work, and then there was a holiday, so nobody worked, and then I'm still off of work, but then I did work. I worked all day yesterday. I was on call, which happened to be a Saturday, not an actual work day. And so it was really discombobulating. So I was sitting there this afternoon and I was like, oh, fuck. I have to record an episode, and I did nothing at all. And then I didn't even force myself to do anything. I just came and sat down in front of the computer and was like, let's do this. So brace yourselves. There's no plan. All right. First things first. That's an Iggy Azalea song. First things first, I'm the realist. First things first. My cat, my soulmate, my life partner, my little redheaded husband. No, my orange boy. I think I don't know. He's broken. He is broken. It happened about the time that the baby cat vanished. And at that time, Flurkin would not stop howling. He howled incessantly all day and all night. And I could not get that boy to stop for the life of me. And on top of that, he suddenly started marking outside of his litter box, which was just aggravating as hell. Then we moved. The howling has stopped, but the marking outside of his litter box has gotten to be problematic. And it's not even right outside his litter box. He goes in the laundry room. He goes in my office. He goes wherever he wants. Like he was and there's no rhyme or reason to it, because then other times of the day he's in his litter box. I think I don't know what the fuck's wrong with this cat. So he's making me crazy. And so if anybody wants to give him a good home, he's all yours. I'm kidding. I am kidding. I would never do that. He is my boy, but something's got to give here. It's making me bonkers trying to clean up after that. And I feel like I'm just constantly running around my house with like a little microscope being like, oh, he got that spot. Oh, he got, like, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro? He's not sick. So I know like the interwebs would tell you like maybe he was sick. He's not sick. I'm not sure. We're working on it. It sucks. So there's that. And I've never had any problems with him before. He's almost 7. He'll be 7 in a couple of months. And I've never had any problems like this with him ever before, ever. So that is not awesome. We hate that journey for the household. Okay. There's that. It's not important, but there you go. I was watching TV the other day. Now I don't even remember what I saw it on, but it sparked something and I wrote it. This is all I wrote down. This is my prep today. This one line. I saw that, or I heard this. I don't even know if it was a quote or if it was just something that was said on TV, but, this guy said, if you don't live life, you can't represent it. And I was like, well, yeah, facts. Because, I agree with that, right? I think there's a lot to be said about living your life and then turning it into something, like, as opposed to letting it define you, turning it into something good, bad, or indifferent. If you had a negative experience, turning it into something. If you saw something be great and successful and joyous, turning that into something, turning it into a practice or a new way of navigating or doing something, right? And so I do 100% agree that if you're not living a life, you can't really represent it. And that was in part why I started the podcast and originally had so many people be like, you need to, like, I don't know, write a book or start a podcast or something, because I have so much life. I've lived so much life and I joke all the time that I'm old. I'm not really that old for as much life as I've lived and the various different lifetimes that I feel like I've had. But all that to be said, I I keep kind of hoping that hard things stop happening, because who wants hard things? Like, let's be honest, who wants to deal with anything hard or anything less than awesome? Not me, right? I've been over here for months being like, "Oh my god, my peace, my peace, my peace," and I've loved it. I really truly have loved it, and I have realized how easy it is to shake that peace. Um, Yet again, I saw some things that the rattlesnake posted online, um, kind of slamming me for the state of my brother's house, but certainly not acknowledging the $7,000 AC unit that was placed in there. You know, like none of the good things, but just the things that were, not. And it hurt my soul a little bit, because I'm like, you fucking cunt. Like, you don't actually know shit about shit. Um, and then being like, it doesn't matter, Brittany. It doesn't matter what she knows or doesn't know, because she's not a part of your life, which is factual and accurate. And also so much easier said than done. To the point, like, I've had nightmares about it. I've had nightmares about interactions with her. And this is now like the third time since I've moved. So just in several months, this is like the third time that I've had a nightmare about her, which is bizarre, all things considered, and the amount of time. So that is a weird thing. I tell this story, a little of this story, because as New Year is approaching and everybody makes their resolutions and or not resolutions, right? I posted on the social medias that it was like, what's your resolution? But then I also reworded it, and I was like, what did you do well that you want to take into 2026? Or what are you absolutely leaving back behind in 2025? And for me personally, what I want to take with me, what I think really I did a lot of in 2025, I did a lot of growing. There was a lot of growth in 2025. And I want to keep that. I want to keep that trajectory. I want to, and I do it like week to week, month to month. I'm like, oh, yep, we're going to do that differently next time. We're going to do that differently next time. And I definitely want to keep that going, because I think that growth matters. I think what I really am leaving a lot of behind in 2025 is just a lot of the fear, the chokehold that my family kind of has over me. Um, I want to leave that. I've done a lot to separate myself from them over this year, and I feel really good about that. But there is a certain level of just like, there are some negative things that come with leaving behind such a profound part of your life. And the difficulties, for example, around the holidays and how that shows up. Um, not wanting people to be mad at you, caring what they say about you. You know, there's a lot of that type of stuff that I have to leave behind, and I have to be able to continue to grow and do what feels good for me and empowers me to continue to be better and bolder and braver and stronger. Um, and self-aware. I've always been an incredibly self-aware human being, and that is a great thing. It's great to be self-aware. I think the challenge in being self-aware is that I also am super, super impulsive and reactionary. And so I can be self-aware, that I am being reactionary in a moment and still not have the wherewithal to like rein it back in that quickly. And so I just have a tendency to get away with myself. I don't love it. I don't love it. It's definitely, you know, it's definitely not awesome. But I do appreciate being self-aware and that I can be like, "Oh yeah, I fucked up. I fucked up in those moments." I I don't talk a lot on here about what goes on between my children and I because I've said it before, like I will always protect my boys um to the very best of my ability, and unless they're on here telling their story and their feelings and their thoughts and emotions, it's not mine to give of theirs. And so I do have to tread lightly out of respect for them. That being said, I wonder how many times I've said that being said. Somebody should turn it into a drinking game and let me know if you come out on the other end sober. Uh, with all that, I um I hold a lot of sadness and anger and resentment for certain choices and things that my kids make. And also, I still mom. I'm still going to show up. I'm still going to do everything that I can that's in my power to do. But that doesn't always mean that I handle it with poise and grace, and that reaction or reactive part in me doesn't sometimes get the best of me. And I said some incredibly hurtful things to my kids the other day. Granted, I was not in a good place. That is not an excuse. But I did say some very difficult, unfortunate, inappropriate things to my children the other day that I can't take back, right? You can never take back things that you've said. My son's response to it was, this is actually so embarrassing and I hate it. Um, my son's response back to me was, I'm sorry that you hate being a mom so much. And I think in that moment, my heart probably shattered. The little pieces that I work so hard to put back together again all the time. I think it probably just shattered all over again. Um, and I will always give myself a little bit of grace that I'm human and I'm flawed and I make mistakes and everybody has a tipping point. And also, uh, to know that my son would walk away with that feeling, when I will always say that my children are the only reason that I live. They are my proudest accomplishments. They are the thing that I worry about every day, and I want nothing but great things for them, and I've worked really, really hard to do that in the very best way that I know how, and somewhere along the way, I failed because that was the takeaway, that I don't like being a mom. Um, and so that's hurtful. And that, you know, there's some work that needs to be done there. There's some repair work that needs to be done there, and a certain level of accountability that needs to be taken in all of that, because nobody should feel that way. And I think there's something to be said about accountability, right? And again, I can't control what another person thinks or feels or how they react, right? So I can do my part to take accountability, to try to move forward, to do better, and to be better. And if that's accepted, then great, that's the best case scenario. And if it's not, you know, I can't force that. I can't change that. Um I also can't make somebody see my point of view if they don't want to see my point of view or anything like that. So I think families are hard. I think I've alluded to it a lot over the past couple of months that adult children are really, really hard. And um it's a tough position to be in. And so I would hope that with 2026, right? I know 2026 does not bring a whole clean slate. It's not going to be like, oh, everything that was wrong will be made new again, right? It's not a beautiful, fresh blanket of snow with a whole new beautiful landscape. It's more of just a fresh blanket of snow that when it melts, the same landscape is still there. So, you know, you have to do what you have to do to be able to tend to that landscape around you so that it stays healthy and strong. And so I say these things, right? This statement that I heard on a TV about if you don't live life, you can't represent it. I wrote it down because it stuck to me. And then I mention it and this story because this is my real life. And I always said I was going to be very honest and transparent because life is not easy. Life is hard. We all struggle. We all have moments. Families are hard. Children are hard. Work is hard. Fucking society is hard. And um but this is what my hard thing is right now, and this is something that I have to really work on in my life to be able to navigate it the best way possible. And I want to always be transparent and honest, right? I don't ever want to present myself as something that I am not, that I have all of my shit together, that everything is great and everything is fine, everything is perfect, that I have it all together, because I don't. I most certainly do not. God, I wish I did. I don't, though. And so I don't want to represent myself as such. I want to be able to represent myself as somebody who's living life, doing the very best that they can, and is able to learn from lessons and be able to share what I learned from those lessons along the way, because I think that that's what it is to be authentic. And I think that's what it is to be transparent. And I think those things really, really matter. Those are some of my big core values: to be authentic and um, to move through life with integrity and respect of other people. And I want to be able to always model that like, I am what you see is what you get. And I'm not always, I don't always have my shit together, and I'm not always perfect. I'm learning to. So that is my spiel. I don't know how that lands. I feel like I wanted to have like this lighthearted, oh, a happy new year kind of episode. I dreamed it was going to go that way. But again, I didn't have anything prepared. And maybe I didn't have anything prepared because this is the story that needed to be given. All that to be said, there it was again. Take a shot. I have, of course, reached out to my children to ask if they are available, or when they are, if we can have a chat. And because I don't want to just spring it on them either, I want them to kind of be able to come into a conversation prepared and not blindsided, because that nobody likes that feeling. And I've talked a lot about how one is very extroverted and presents a lot like I do, and the other one is not. He's much more introverted and does better whenever he has time to be able to process his thoughts and feelings and emotions, and then articulates them actually very, very well. But in the immediate moment, not so well. So there's all that. And honestly, all of this stuff did happen before Christmas, which probably didn't help the whole like Christmas thing. But we were all together for Christmas. And when I said everybody was able to put aside their differences and enjoy the moment and enjoy the time, that is still true. Like that applies to me and them and everyone, just to be able to like get through a holiday. And I can really appreciate and respect obviously myself and being able to do that, but like I can really appreciate and respect my kids being able to show up and not be so in their feelings at me that everybody else kind of notices or understands what's going on there, right? Because we don't need to put all of our shit on everybody else all the time. So, life is a work in progress. In other news, I um pivot 180. I they have all of these, me, I do all of the different sort of like therapeutic type things. I talk a lot about how I color. It's very uh cathartic to me. I really enjoy doing it. Well, I also ordered a paint by number because I do like to paint. I'm not good at it, but I do really like to paint. And so I'd been wanting to paint something, but it can actually be really costly to go buy a ton of acrylic and things like that. And so I didn't want to go do that just to paint like one little picture. So I bought one of these paint by numbers and I was like, I'm going to paint a picture for my bathroom. And I thought it was going to take me so much time or so little time. I thought I would be able to like knock it out in an afternoon. No. I've been working on this thing for 2 weeks. It is not easy. And every time I work on it for hours at a time. And I just sit around and paint and listen to Bravo Housewives. Right now I'm doing the Beverly Hills ones. Housewives of Beverly Hills. I think there's like 15 seasons of them. And I am on like season 3. I decided to like start all the way back. A couple of years ago, I decided to start all the way back. But this Christmas break, I was like, I'm going to get through some of these seasons of Housewives of Beverly Hills just for shits and giggles because why not? So I put that on as like background noise and I just surround it for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and paint. And I'm so excited. It's turning out so good. It's turning out better than I ever could have even dreamed. Like it's one of those things like when they say trust the process. No, for real. Trust the process. And I will show it to you when I'm all done. It's not done yet. And so I don't want to show the unfinished version because again, with whole trust the process thing, but I am so excited about it. And then I have another one. I bought 2. And so I don't think I'm going to be able to, we'll see because I am off of work for the next week. So I might be able to get through it since I have like all day for the next week to be able. Shit. Did I disconnect? I don't know what just happened. Yikes. Something happened. Oh, fuck a duck. Well, we're going to hope for the best. So, anyways, I'm going to be working on that. So that's what's happening. I did put some stuff on the socials for you guys to chime in. I do want to hear what your resolutions are going to be, what you're taking into 2026 with you that worked so well in 2025, and what you're leaving behind, right? Are we leaving toxic relationships? Are we leaving poor money management? Are we leaving, Taco Bell behind in 2026? Like, what are we leaving? Something big, something small. It doesn't even have to be anything like, massive either. So I want to hear it. Go to the Instagram, or yeah, it's on Instagram. Go to the Dysfunctionally Yours podcast Instagram. Let it be known. I can't wait I hope everybody wraps up the new year in whatever fashion you need. Let it be safe. Let it be by yourself. Let it be with friends. Let it be with loved ones. Whatever is going to make your soul happy and set a tone and a beautiful energy for going into the new year. I am going to a comedy show with some girlfriends on New Year's Eve, and I am really excited. Such a different sort of plan. Um, Never done it before. I mean, I've been to comedy shows before, but like not on New Year's Eve. So I'm excited. I'm excited for what is to come. I encourage everybody to be bold and brave, be strong, and don't be afraid of the things. Don't be afraid of the things you're scared of. Yeah, that is what I was gonna say, and that is just so silly of me to say. Um, Anyways, don't be afraid to be great. Toodles, poodles, and Happy New Year. Bye.